Hi, my name is Erin, and like everyone else, I had a family. But my older brother ruined everything, and now it's gone. I have two brothers, and we've all shared a room our whole lives. When I turned 16, Damien, the youngest, was 13, and Rick was 18. I started going to bed in my clothes because I felt like I was in danger when I was alone with them. When we were kids, only the younger one bothered me. Damien was always picking his nose, drooling, and worst of all, peeing his bed and running to sleep with me. Once we grew up, the boys still weren't shy around me at all. Damien would run around the room in his underwear, farting and burping, and throwing his smelly socks everywhere. At least he stopped wetting the bed. And Rick would constantly talk about his girlfriends in front of me, look at his abs in the mirror, and it always seemed like his underwear was stifling him, too. For mornings, I had to set my alarm for 6 o'clock to get up earlier than the boys, so I could shower and get dressed without them messing with me. My stupid little brother would often play tricks on me and hide my bra under his mattress. One time, I couldn't find it anywhere and yelled at both of them and told them that sometimes it seemed like they weren't even related to me because they were such idiots. Then, Rick grinned and uttered, "That's right, we're not related. You were adopted when you were 3. No freaking way! He said it just like that. He just kept chewing his gum and chatting online with another one of his girls. I burst into tears. Of course. It turned out that my parents really had adopted me when I was a child. I was in shock. For over a month, I couldn't face the reality of it. I was at least a little glad that dumb Damien wasn't related to me. I had become just a girl sharing a room with two guys. From that moment on, everything changed, and Rick started acting strangely. He started wondering whether I liked anybody. He insisted that we walk to school together and would often just stare at me for long periods of time. It was a difficult time for me, but Rick eventually went off to college and rarely came home. I was able to relax. I once caught Damien stealing underwear from my drawer again. I took him by the ear and told him that since he wasn't my brother, I wouldn't feel sorry for him anymore. At night, when he would be fast asleep, I would also take something very personal from him. To prank him, too. The jerk didn't bother me anymore after that, and my life got better. But then, Rick came home for winter break. I woke up from someone breathing on me. It was Rick, and he was sitting on my bed. I got really scared, but he shushed me and told me to follow him. There was an old Honda outside. He bragged about how he had been saving up for a long time to buy it, and that the next day he would take me for a ride. I wondered why he would waste time on me, when there were plenty of girls to dote on him. But Rick told me that he had missed me, and kissed me on the cheek. I hoped that he had missed me like a brother, but I knew that he meant something completely different. So again, just in case, I went to bed right in my clothes and couldn't sleep until morning. The next day, we went for a drive. It seemed like Rick had matured and changed over the last few months. He told me that he had known since he was a kid that I had come from an orphanage, so he couldn't possibly love me like just a sister. He was ashamed that he had been so rude to me. Then he just drove me home. Throughout his entire school break, we talked a lot as friends. I was even jealous when he went on a date with a girl. And, of course, I scolded myself for even thinking such thoughts. Before he left, Rick woke me up again at night and laid down next to me. He was silent for a long time, and then he told me that he had liked me for a long time, and if I didn't mind, he would come every weekend to see me. All week, I caught myself thinking about him, and when he would arrive, we'd spend the whole weekend together. So our secret friendship began, which grew into more. Feelings just appeared by themselves, and we both couldn't understand how we didn't notice how much we had in common before, and that we could have had fun spending time together. Even though we were of age, we couldn't tell anyone about us. Mom and Dad wouldn't understand. For them, we were brother and sister, and it didn't matter that we weren't even related and had never experienced a sibling bond. At night, when Damien had fallen asleep, Rick would lay down with me. We could chat and kiss all night. In the morning, Rick would go to his room. But one day, we fell asleep. We woke up from screaming and shrieking. Damien saw us sleeping and called our parents in. We both got laid into by our mother, and then they put us in different corners of the room and lectured us for a long time. And they called us various offensive words. I spent the next night on the couch in the living room because it was obvious to my mother that it was me who was the bad influence and who they had enabled. The next morning, my parents decided that they would send me to my aunt's house without even allowing me to finish the last month of school at home. I cried and begged my mother to let me stay. Rick asked too. I tried to explain to them that we loved each other and there was nothing wrong with that. We couldn't change it. But my mother sent him upstairs and forbade him from even coming down to the table. I packed my suitcase, and that night, when everyone was asleep, left the house. Rick got out through a window, and we drove to nowhere together. For several years now, we have been living in another city. Our parents tried to get us back and end our relationship, but we've stayed together. I never finished school and got a job as a waitress. Rick continues to study and works at a car wash. I will definitely finish my studies and do the same. Rick even sold his car to help me with my education. I'm 21 now, and he is 23. Of course, it's difficult for us, but we support each other. We're glad that we can be together. That's our story.